Ali Drew for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Anthony Crolla here at Fight Week for Eubank Jr. Conor Benn. How are you feeling?
Ali, I'm good. Other than the train strike, which has killed me a little bit this morning, it was an early start. We had to drive here with Dom, as you know, He'd done the driving. I'm good. Obviously, a big fight week, you make sure you're here, but obviously what's unfolded, we don't know whether it's going to be in vain or not. Like everyone, we're just waiting to hear.
Yes, we do have to start with that. The main event is in jeopardy at the moment. Conor Benn failing the drugs test. The British Boxing Board saying that the fight isn't going to go ahead. We're not quite sure what's happening. What do you make of it all?
Ali, it's hard because as much as I want to see the fight, as much as you want to see the fight, everyone here, listen, you can see the promotion of this thing. You've got to feel sorry for so many people. But then I've also got to be realistic. If Conor's failed the drugs test, which is it father or Wad, I'm not sure which one of them is saying it is, saying that he has, then unless there can be like an unbelievable explanation very quickly, the fight, it shouldn't go ahead.
Do you think that at the moment the negotiations are for the fight to go ahead and then deal with the sort of consequences afterwards?
I genuinely don't know, but I think if it is that and the drug test thing isn't cleared up, that's not addressed before any kind of announcement whether the fight's going ahead or not, then it's just a massive black eye for boxing, and people are going to have a field day. And again, as much as we want to see the fight weekend, we've also got to be honest, it's like it sort of shows what boxing is a business.
In your opinion, should the fight not go ahead? Based on what we've learned this morning, do you think it should be cancelled?
What we've learned this morning, if there can't be some kind of explanation, and very quickly, before Saturday, do you imagine it's got them today? No, it shouldn't, and that's like, I might be unpopular with some people, but I'm also just being honest, you know, if there's a failed drugs test, the fighters, you know, ex-fighters are all very vocal on it, you know, there's got to be a ban put in place.
I mean, it's a pay-per-view on Saturday, so in terms of the rest of the card, do you feel like the show will go ahead if the main event doesn't happen and it'll be just non-pay-per-view?
Obviously, you've got to feel massively for Eddie because he can't, listen, all the matchroom team, but if this show, I feel like if the show goes ahead with the main event, then there's going to be a lot of people slating him. I think it's not the only fix is that if he lets the undercard go ahead, obviously I'm guessing it wouldn't be on pay-per-view, and he probably comes out looking well. I'm not saying that's what it's about, but if, like I say, if this test can't be resolved and a good explanation for it, you've got to be honest, it's going to struggle to go ahead.
I think that announcement there was for Conor Benn to go and join the studio guys, Chris and Darren. I'm assuming that he's going to be doing his workout as normal today?
Yes, well, yes, so listen, hopefully there is going to be that explanation. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, I'm a Conor Benn fan. However, this has got to be explained. It's got to be explained, and there's got to be a reasonable excuse.
If the fight does go ahead and it gets all cleared up and it actually does happen, what is your thoughts on how the fight goes, and do you think it lives up to the hype?
For a reason, I've said for a while, mate, I think it's Conor Benn is massively improved. However, it's hard to look past. The only thing what I believe makes it real hard, or which makes it hard to pick a winner, is the weight cut. What does it take out of Junior? But I think you can't look past the fact that this is a level that Conor Benn has never fought at before, and I think you've got to make Eubank Jr. a huge favourite. But I think what makes it interesting is him coming down in weight, and Conor, you know, there's no denying he's an explosive puncher. You believe that would be the only chance again, but in boxing it takes one shot.
This fight has certainly had a bit of everything in the lead up to it. You know, the dads, obviously, we don't know if Chris Senior's even involved in it yet. It's just been sort of non-stop things happening all through the build-up, which is kind of what this fight was needed and what it deserves.
Yeah.
Maybe not as far as it's gone.
Yeah, a little bit too far. It's no, but if you look at it, it has become a little bit like a show. The build-up, the back and forth, the taunting from Junior and stuff like that. But it's great. Listen, it was on Good Morning Britain. I think, yeah, last week, there was on Good Morning Britain last week, so that's the kind of exposure it's got, and that's why I think they've got to be so careful in what happens next. They really have. So we'll see.
In terms of the sort of eating and posting the meals from Chris Eubank Jr., what do you make of that? Do you think that it's a bit of a show, or do you think he's actually sort of not taking it as serious?
I seen him on Saturday night. No, that's a lie. I didn't see him Saturday night. I seen him on Monday night, and he was going for food then. And he wasn't going. It wasn't going to a chef, a home cooked chef, or out like that. I think when he was going, God bless those lads over there because he was with them. But he just went for food. Just said, it's clean food. He was going for food. It wasn't like he was on a strict diet, so he must be very confident he's going to hit that weight.
As we're talking, Conor Benn has just got into the ring to do his media workout. So that's a positive sign in terms of things moving forward. The fact that I presume things are going to carry on as normal for fight week.
Yes, I think. Well, obviously, I think they're going to do this, but I think a decision will be made by tonight. You would think so if it's going to go ahead, but it's I don't know what's just been said with the broadcasters, but it's moving around now. And listen, Conor's head's got to be absolutely all over. You can only imagine.
Do you think if the fight does go ahead, I think Conor clears things up? Do you think that the sort of mental exhaustion that he'll have now from this will have an effect?
Do you know what, Ali? I think that Conor's an emotional guy. I think it's pretty clear to see he's an emotional guy, heart on his sleeve. So surely this is going to take a little bit out of him as well.
Definitely. Well, I'll let you get back because I know obviously you're working.
I'm doing a little bit. We'll see.
But fingers crossed this fight goes ahead and we'll catch up later on in the week.
Yeah, good to see you as always.
And you. Thanks.